These questions are just giving them what they want, understanding how equations work. If you wanted to here, if you sensed, okay, this is about kind of understanding a story, you could go to the end, so that way you kind of know what you're looking for as you're reading the rest of the story. So in this case, according to the equation, what is the price in dollars of each smaller container? So price of the smaller container. Maybe now as I read, I'm thinking about maybe there's probably a large container, right? So like, okay, let's make sure. A store sells 2 different size containers of blueberries. The store's sales of these blueberries totaled $896.86 per month last month. The equation 4.51x plus 6.07y equals 896.86 represents this situation where x is the number of smaller containers, okay, and y is the number of larger containers, right? So I'm not interested in the 6.07. I'm interested in the 4.51. Now, in this case, there's really no way to get it wrong, right? There's nothing to solve here. We would need some sort of values in order to kind of do any math, but the answer is just 451. You might just put that because they're like, okay, well, they told me to look at the x. There's a 451 in front of the x, fine. So 4.51, I should be really clear. But the reason, if we're really diving deeper here, is if x is the number of smaller containers, then since the total amount here is the total value of all of the containers, right, the total sales, then that's a dollar amount. So what's happening is in this equation, we are taking the value, the dollar amount, the dollar cost of each small container, multiplying it by the number of small containers we have, and then adding that to the same equivalent for the large containers, right? Y is the number of large containers, and $6.07 is the cost of each large container. So this is just a slope situation, right? This is just rates, constant rates. This is something that's going to come up in lots of situations. Sometimes it's just a plain old, y equals mx plus b equation. Other times it's kind of this more, twisted version where we kind of put all the variables on one side. But either way, when you have a number multiplied by a variable, the number is basically going to be some sort of rate. And a story is going to make it even more clear that like it's a price per box in this case, right? Per container. So you need to understand that concept. That is going to come up on every SAT. Every SAT is going to include at least one story, probably multiple stories, that involve slopes, rates, this kind of thing that they're doing here with the coefficient. So it's an important concept to know because it will come up on every SAT.